Howdy, 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 my name is Anachi Sasuke, and welcome back to Let's Read the SCP Foundation Wiki. Now, before we get into what's actually supposed to be happening today, I was told last week that evidently there are more SCP-1s than there were the last time I came here. Also, that picture looks different than the last time I came here, too. So yeah, I don't really remember what the last one of these was that I did, because next month will be like 2 years ago that I did this. But I was told that there are more of them since the last time I came in here. But the person who said it also crossed out the part of the comment where they were saying there's more of them. So I'm not sure. I feel like the last time I came in here it stopped like right here. But I'm not 100% sure. Like, let's click this, see if I remember anything in here. Yeah, no, this was not here. That's new. That is very new. Get out of here, you. What about this one? Maybe I'm wrong. Keto duty. I don't really remember this either. How many more of these are there now? I'm gonna have to go back and check the first few episodes of this series and figure out what the last SCP-1 was that I read, because it looks like I've got to read a lot more of them, and that's just gonna be a few episodes of SCP Sidestep by itself, but I wanted to check. Anyway, back to the 900s. In this episode, we're going to be doing, I believe, Man's Best Friend, Mr. Moon, Baby Mill, which still sounds messed up, Needy Mirror, and Mr. Lost, which is probably not about the TV show, but it might be, what do I know? Okay. So, SCP-916 is safe, and it is to be kept in a Stop showing me pepperonis, man! Every single ad since I came on this website has been pepperonis. I haven't eaten yet! Okay, it is to be kept in a locked, soundproof kennel of appropriate size for a dog of its breed. It is to be fed a species-appropriate meal twice per day, and its kennel is to be cleaned regularly. Personnel should attempt to provide stimulation to 916 through the provision of a companion dog in its containment area and/or regular exercise in a large containment area. While this is not mandatory, insufficient stimulation has previously resulted in physical illness for 916. Oh no! Personnel in contact with Man's Best Friend are advised to wear noise-canceling devices to avoid unnecessary contact with one. Okay. Should 916 unexpectedly enter its active state, it may be safely transported to and locked in its kennel. Test subjects should be checked for any potential implements of self-harm before testing, and guard personnel are to maintain at least one non-lethal means of subduing test subjects. Okay. SCP-916 is a large, not large, where did I get the word large from? Is an adult male golden retriever. It is identical to any other dog of its breed other than its exceptional longevity. It was recovered in 1977. Oh. Researchers and test subjects report its demeanor to be exceptionally friendly. Anomalous effects occur within between 15 minutes and 1 hour after initial contact with a human subject. 916 will begin this active phase by becoming docile and attempting to lie down next to the subject. After several seconds of immobility, 916 will begin to completely suppress any pain felt by individuals in contact with it. Such report this effect to decrease with distance and to cease at 12 meters from the subject. Within 3 minutes of beginning its active phase, one or more instances of one will appear. What are those? To date, 44 separate instances have been identified. One will manifest as localized human voices which originate approximately 2 meters away from the subject. These voices may be recorded and interacted with by the subject, but will generally not appear if multiple personnel are present. Universally, one claimed to be individuals who have been helped to die by 916. These voices are able to provide names and detailed information which corroborate this claim, of which 91% have been confirmed. Assuming that these events did occur in the presence of 916, the object would be at least blank 100 years old. One has been shown to use a wide variety of tactics to attempt to persuade the subject to commit suicide in the presence of 916. Generally, these attempts can be broken down into 4 phases. Phase 1. Verbal contact is made with the subject, generally using soft, gentle tones. One will allay the common fear response to disembodied voices by explaining that they are invisible. These voices will introduce themselves and attempt to establish rapport with the subject. Phase 2, if not already aware of the subject, one will point out the reduction/elimination of pain in the subject. Voices often ask the subject to bite his or her own tongue or to pinch himself to demonstrate the effect. One attributes this to 916's healing powers. Phase 3. One attempts to persuade the subject that suicide is a better option than their current condition. This often includes vivid descriptions of a heaven-like afterlife, assurance that the subject need not worry about conditions in the physical world, and encouragement to do so immediately in 916's presence to avoid pain during the short trip home. Phase 4, one suggests viable options for suicide, depending on the subject's circumstance. Researchers are commonly advised to thrust a writing implement into their own eye sockets. Disposable subjects are told to make a false escape attempt so as to be shot by security. Records indicate that severing the tongue and bleeding out was once regularly suggested, however, during an early test, this was attempted by the subject and medical personnel were able to save the victim. This method has not been suggested by any instance of one since. Any phase may be interrupted by sufficiently disturbing 916 itself or simply leaving the room, returning it to an inactive state. Note, due to incident blank 3C, resulted in the deaths of numerous personnel. Of those three, Disposable, and Dr. Christopher Blank were within 20 meters of 916 at the time of their deaths. These personnel have been identified as 142, 43, and 44 respectively. 916 was not directly involved. Instances of one now have an in-depth knowledge of Foundation procedures and personnel. Since that event, 42, 43, and 44 have consistently informed all Class D subjects of Foundation termination schedules in an attempt to persuade the Class D subject to end it now painlessly. Due to the efficacy of this technique, testing on D-Class subjects is currently suspended. So, given the subject matter of this particular instance, if you feel like you're going down the road where you think that this step is the only answer, there are multiple lines you can reach out to. Talk to your friends, your family, if you need anyone to help you through those feelings. Absolutely talk that out with someone. Don't keep it bottled up. It will eat you alive from the inside out, trust me. Just talk to someone about that if you're feeling like that. Anyway, it got a little bit too serious there. Let's go on to Mr. Moon with the Dr. Wondertainment and, oh god, photo taken redacted. SCP-917 is to be kept in a standard humanoid containment cell. More pepperonis, please go away. Music and literature may be made available on request. One aide is to be assigned to 917 at all times. Aides are to be rotated on 6-hour shifts. SCP-917 may request to be left in solitude at any time. However, this privilege is restricted to 4 hours a day. A basic Braille-based communication book has been supplied to 917. Simple communication may be performed through this medium, as well as agreed-upon hand signals. Personnel are instructed not to awaken 917 while in New Moon phase, unless absolutely required, as this may cause panic in the subject. Personnel are to wait until 917 gives the agreed-upon signal before interaction. SCP-917 suffers from moderate arthritis and is to be supplied with medication when feeding is possible. As of current regulations on Misters, 917 is to be contained in Hall Blank of Site Blank. Mr. Moon appears to be an elderly Caucasian male. The subject's facial features appear to degenerate and regenerate in relation to the lunar cycle, completely disappearing during the new moon and normal during the full moon. The ears, nose, eyes, and mouth will disappear, but facial wrinkles remain. This degeneration and regeneration mimics the phases of the moon, beginning at the left ear and crossing the subject's face. Subject has explained that the experience is painless, but leaves him blind, deaf, and mute when the related features are absent. 917 does not seem to need to eat, drink, or breathe when features are absent. However, it has explained that it feels extremely tired while suffering from the lunar phase. During an eclipse, data expunged. This is considered safe and does not cause long-term harm to the subject. 917 was discovered at entrance blank of side blank. The words Mr. Moon from Little Misters, all rights reserved by Dr. Wondertainment, are tattooed upon his right calf. Upon discovery, 917 had been wearing a coat, dress shirt, and slacks, all with the brand name Doctor's Orders sewn into their tags. A list similar to the one held by 909 has also been found in the left pants pocket, where 917 is designated as 13. See document 917A, which is probably, yep. Addendum 2. The document shown was in the possession of 917. 905 states that it lost its copy in the breeze. 909 held a similar list which can be found in 909A, and 913 apparently ingested its copy. 920 claims to have misplaced its copy, and 920... Well, 920 isn't necessarily also one of... Well, I think we're about to read 920. Yeah, Mr. Lost. Haha, I get it. Lost it because it's Mr. Lost. Baby Mill! Oh, it's a bird. Okay. SCP-918. I kind of want the NyQuil commercials back, to be honest. 918 is to be marked on all maps as an artillery range, and satellite images of the area are to be all. Oh, wait a minute. It's not a bird. It's probably storks. Satellite images of the area are to be altered to corroborate with this cover story. Any instances of one are to be shot down by on-site personnel, and any instances of one that managed to leave are to be tracked and prevented from completing their task. Any civilians approaching 918 are to be taken into Foundation custody and dosed with a Class A amnestic. SCP-918 is an abandoned mill located in blank blank. The time and nature of its abandonment are currently unknown, and records do not show any evidence that the mill was ever constructed. I'm expecting it to be factory-based, but I don't know. All machinery in 918 related to the function of a standard mill is non-functional and appears to have been stripped for metal. The interior of 918 is filled with machinery of unknown purpose that appears to have been constructed from scrap metal. This mainly constitutes a series of intersecting pipes running through the building. However, pulleys and what appears to be an engine of a tractor are also present. Every 2 months, 3 creatures resembling members of that family, which I believe are probably storks, will emerge from the chimney on the roof of 918. These will hereafter be referred to as instances of one. Instances of one, when dissected, do not appear to possess any skeleton, internal organs, or flesh, instead being completely hollow. The method by which they ambulate or function is currently unknown. Witnesses report one instances communicating with each other in the form of high-pitched clicks and screeches. After emerging, instances of one will almost immediately begin to fly to an apparently predetermined residence located in the country of blank. The residence that one flies to will always be home to one newborn infant and 2 parents. Upon the arrival at the residence, one instance will locate the newborn infant and carefully hold it utilizing their talons. One instance will then, still carrying the infant, fly back to 918 and insert the infant into the machinery inside 918. Personnel report a series of loud banging noises emitting from several points of machinery at this point. After 15 minutes, varying amounts of talcum powder will be dispensed from the end of the mechanisms. One instances will then climb into the open point of the machinery. Scans of the machinery at this stage show that instances of one remain in the pipes for 6 seconds before vanishing. Well, that is not what I thought was going to happen, but it just makes me think of that one episode of SpongeBob when Plankton was turning people into babies, and he's like, excuse me, is this baby powder made from real or artificial babies? According to the SCP Foundation, real ones. So, that brings us to Needy Mirror. Haven't had any Keeters in a while. We're overdue for it. Special containment procedures revised as a blankety blank blank due to data expunged. 919 is to be kept in a locked storage room with no windows and 2 armed guards at all times. All personnel to interact with 919 must pass a psychological evaluation. Okay. SCP-919 appears to be an ordinary full-length mirror in excellent condition, but of course is not, because anything that says appears to be ordinary and then also is a mirror is not that. Is not any of that. Once a living subject has been in front of it for 15 seconds, the reflection breaks synchronization and begs for the subject not to leave. The reflection appears to be completely self-aware and has shown to have full access to all of the subject's memories. When the subject makes any move to leave, the reflection quickly becomes hysterical. Once the subject is no longer in a place where they can be reflected by 919, the reflection screams and violently disintegrates. Repeated exposure to the same subject have shown that the reflection is cognizant of what happened to it before. Extended exposure to a subject has shown that the reflection has no need of sustenance, though this was detrimental to the subject's mental health. 919 was discovered after an incident in the town of blank blank. The owner of 919 had apparently died of dehydration. It is unclear as to when 919 came into the owner's possession, or what caused it to become active if it wasn't already. Local authorities were eager to get rid of it. While 919 has proved invulnerable to damage, its effective range can be neutralized by merely covering it. This results in the immediate disintegration of any reflection that has broken synchronization. Multiple subjects being exposed to 919 behave as expected. Each individual reflection breaks synchronization and disintegrates at the appropriate time. The use of additional mirrors has been shown to extend 919's active range. Also worth note is that 919 has no ability for mimetic contamination. Its apparent control over individuals is entirely verbal persuasion. Addendum. The use of 919 for interrogation purposes has been approved for authorized personnel. Exposing animals to 919 produced identical results. Of note, 68% of animals showed strong aversion to being exposed to 919. After initial exposure, all animals showed extreme aversion to being exposed to 919. Begin log. It is at this point that Dr. Blank encounters Agent Blank standing in front of 919. Hey, where have you been? You were supposed to be at the lab blank ago. What gives? I can't leave. It'll kill him. What? Who else is there? Him! Who? Oh, that's 919, isn't it? He's not real. It's just... I'm real, goddammit! Why are you trying to kill me? Doctor spends 20 minutes trying to talk Agent Blank out of 919's range before calling a security team. Come on, we've got work to do. Don't make... It is at this point the agent draws his firearm and points it at the doctor. You're not going to kill him! The sound of gunfire is heard, resulting in the death of Agent Blank and wounding one member of the security team. No! Why did you kill him? He was just trying to protect me, but you don't need him, right? Why are you taking him away? No, he's dead! You don't need him anymore, don't! 919 responds as it normally does to the removal of the subject. Alright, then, that brings us to Mr. Lost. It's Euclid. It used to say Mobile Task Force Iota-1 Mr. Hunters are currently tracking 920's movements. Now it says, currently 920's movements are being followed by satellite observation. Tracking of 920 by land or air has been discontinued. Suggestions on efficient containment of 920 may be submitted to Dr. Someone. Any personnel encountering Mobile Task Force Iota-1 are to contact 054. Did something happen to them? Alright, I'll hold to be doing the thing. SCP-920 appears to be an Asian male of indeterminable age. Transportation, movement, or direction of 920 to a certain destination is physically impossible. 920 shows an inability to control its own movements and will instead wander about, being unable to choose a destination. Attempts at transporting 920 to any destination will result in transporters becoming lost. Attempts at directing 920 will result in 920 becoming lost. Following 920 will result in 920 and the follower becoming lost. There is no determinable point at which 920's effects will take place. Seemingly random events such as malfunctioning radar systems and GPS units, earthquakes, cloud formations, and severe human negligence have all been recorded to manifest when transportation of 920 has been attempted. SCP-920 seems to have a slight psychic pull, causing subjects that come into contact with him to feel a compulsion to walk and talk with him. Conversing is not recommended, as typically subjects will follow 920 and become lost. 920 does not appear to have normal human requirements and can wander through deserts, tundras, and oceans without encountering difficulties. Addendum 1. SCP-920 was discovered at entrance expunged to Site Blank. However, during escort to Hall Blank, escaped containment. 920 was later discovered outside a small town near Site Blank. Attempts at recontainment were discontinued following the disappearance of Blank personnel. 2. The words Mr. Lost from Little Misters All Rights Reserved by Dr. Wondertainment are tattooed upon his left calf. This designation has 16 in document 909A. 920 was originally discovered wearing a green hoodie, white t-shirt, and jeans. The brand name Doctor's Orders is sewn into all tags. Addendum 3. Yes, by lost, we mean lost. Misplaced, disoriented, off course, whatever you like to call it. No, personnel have not been sent to another plane of infinite misters. Addendum 4. On blankety blank blank, 920 was restrained by Foundation personnel, and Site-207 was established as his location to contain him. However, within blank hours, it became clear that personnel could not locate Site-207. After blank days, Site-207 was abandoned due to critical supply issues. Alrighty then. So, that about does it for this episode of Let's Read the SCP Foundation Wiki. In the next episode, we'll be checking out the Museum of Memories, another version of the truth, a useful tool, the Ice Water Men, and the Mushroom Cultist. 924 sounds like it could have been a JoJo enemy, but anyway... this has been Anashi Sasuke. If you liked it, a like and a subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you need to do either one of those things, and I will see y'all in the next one. Later!